Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is another early testing game from the public beta environment. I am joined here by some of the other people in our TFT group with JDP El Grillo, Symbol, Antisocial Monkey, and Blood Test. And the 5 of us are playing this game on the second day of PBE testing for set 7. So this is very early in the set. None of us really know what we're doing yet, and we're all trying to figure things out as best we can. So these are certainly not optimized team compositions by any mean. That said, this was a fun game, particularly for me, and I'm going to be showcasing in particular the guild trait in this game. This is a trait that's not associated with any of the dragons. Based on the first video that I posted from set 7 PBE, people might have gotten the impression that the whole set is just nothing but dragons because that game came down to me having a 2-star dragon on my team against someone who also had a 2-star dragon. But no, the dragons are the theming mechanic for this set, but the set is not purely based around dragons. There are other units as well, and in fact, you can build some pretty strong team compositions that don't play heavily into the dragons. So, as I mentioned, this is going to be a video that focuses on the guild traits. So, what specifically does guild do? This is, I think, the most creative trait that they've come up with for set 7. Right now, it feels like it's a little bit overtuned, but I do think that this is a really, really creative trait, and I wanted to highlight it in this video. Okay, so what does guild do? Guild grants a unique bonus to your team. So, you'll note on the side of the screen, guild is listed as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So unlike most traits, every single time you play an additional guild unit, you get another benefit for your team. And these bonuses stack. They're all tied to their individual units. So for example, I have a 2-star Sejuani. I took a Sejuani off the initial carousel, and then I found 2 more Sejuanis in the shop. So I've got that 2-star Sej, and Sej is a guild unit. Sejuani gives plus 100 health to the entire team. So, you can play one guild unit and they will provide whatever their bonus is to the entire team. So Sejuani provides health. Later on, I'm going to pick up units like Twitch. Twitch provides attack speed. Ryze provides ability power. You get the idea. So guild is a very splashable trait. You can toss in one guild unit and get a team-wide benefit. It's relatively small, but you can get, like I said, splash in one unit and get the benefit for your whole team. Or, of course, you can dive deeper into the trait, and that's what we're going to be doing in this game. As you go deeper into the trait, obviously you're getting each one of those individual benefits from the individual units, but you also get increased benefit from each. So, for example, at Guild 1, you get 100% of the guild bonus. At Guild 2, you get 120% of the guild bonus. At Guild 3, it's 140% of the guild bonus, and so on and so forth. Again, those numbers are subject to change. This is PBE. Expect them to go, get moved around from here and there, but you get the idea. You kind of get this exponential bonus as you dive deeper into the trait because you're not only getting more total bonuses, the benefit of each of those bonuses is going up as well. Guild units also get double the benefit. So if you're a guild unit, Sejuani doesn't get plus 100 health, she gets plus 200 health. And then for having more guild units in, that's going to go up to 120% of the bonus, 140%, you get the idea. So it's a really clever trait because it's both a splashable trait. You can toss in one guild unit to make another trait in a different team composition and get that team-wide benefit. Or it's something you can dive deeply into as well. And I just think it's a very creatively designed trait. And I'm interested to see where this goes and how people are going to use it throughout the set. All right, so what other stuff do I have in here? Well, one of the things I said while playing was, hey, I've actually made a lot of traits here. I honestly didn't know if my setup was especially good, but I did have a lot of traits in play. 2 Bruiser, 2 Cavalier, 2 Warrior, 2 Scale Scorn, and then the 1 Guild, even though Guild is the trait I'm going to be featuring in the later portions of this match. So what do these other traits do? Well, Bruiser's pretty simple. Bruiser's been around in a whole bunch of sets, provides bonus HP to the whole team, and Bruiser units get double the bonus. This is exactly the same as it's been in past sets. Right now, at the numbers I'm looking at, Bruiser 2 is 125 health. Everybody on the team gets that, and then the Bruiser units get double that benefit. So instead of 125, they get 250. Again, expect those numbers to get tweaked. So people are probably pretty familiar with that. Cavalier is also back from past sets, although it's a little bit different in this set. In set 5, what Cavalier did was Cavalier units got reduced damage from all sources. In this set, Cavalier units get extra armor and magic resistance. The innate bonus is they charge towards their target. Whenever they move, they gain armor and magic resist at the start of combat, and after each charge, they gain double the amount for 4 seconds. So and right now, Cavalier 2 is 30 armor, 30 magic resistance. So Cavaliers, of course, frontliners, the idea is they get extra armor and magic resistance, and then that benefit's doubled for a couple seconds at the start of combat, and then when they charge to their next target. So Cavaliers, frontline units, they seem to be pretty good frontliners. There's basically three frontline traits in this game. You have Bruiser, which provides health, Cavalier, armor and magic resistance, and then Guardian, which provides shielding. And the Guardians are like the purest tanks. The Cavaliers and the Bruisers are more like hybrid tanks, damage sources. All right, so we've got those two traits in. What else do I have in? Well, I also have the Warrior trait in. What the Warrior trait does is provides additional damage on auto attacks. It's a chance to produce additional damage. I'll read the exact note. Warrior attacks have 25% chance to increase the damage of their next attack. And right now, Warrior 2 is like 120% additional damage. Again, expect those numbers to change. So every time Warrior units attack, they have a chance to deal extra damage. And then finally, Scale Scorn, the other trait that I have in here. This is another kind of oddball trait. Scale Scorn provides, it's additional damage if you don't have a dragon on your team. Yeah, if you don't have a dragon on your team, Scale Scorn champions deal bonus magic damage, take reduced damage from enemies with more than, right now it says 1700 health. I think that's been tweaked a little bit. So they deal bonus magic damage, and they take reduced damage from enemies with a lot of health. So basically, it's the anti-dragon trait, because the dragon units all have a lot of health on their side. So yeah, as I said, I have a lot of traits in here right now, and so far I've been winning all my rounds, so I've been pretty happy with how things are going here. The key to my early success has been, number one, like I said, just having a lot of traits in play, but the other big thing was just having that 2-star Sejuani. The 2-star Sedge has been really, really helpful, and I also put a Dragon's Claw on Sejuani. That is, of course, the double cloak item. It provides a ton of magic resistance. But the other thing that it provides in this set is it provides additional health regen. Yeah, this item was buffed in a way that I don't think it really needed, in the sense that now the Dragon's Claw provides 1% health regen per unit attacking the person who has the Dragon's Claw. Let me see if I can read the exact description, because this thing definitely got overbuffed. So it provides a ton of magic resistance. Right now, 175 magic resistance. Regenerate 1% maximum health for each enemy targeting the holder. So yeah, I don't think needed that property, but it's made it so, you know, if you can have like a really tanky unit and slap a Dragon's Claw on them, they just regenerate a lot of health. And the more units that target them, the more health they regenerate. So it's a very good item to just slam early in the game. If you can make like Warmogs plus Dragon's Claw, in the early game, units just can't get through that because there's not enough damage. So there's a good chance that's going to get nerfed in some way before this goes live. The 1% per unit targeting them is just really crazy. I really don't know what they're thinking. It's easy to be getting like 4% of max HP regen per second, because you'll have like 4 units targeting whoever your frontliner is. And other than that, I've just kind of been filling up my comp here. It's not as though I have a ton of 2-stars. The only 2-star I have right now is the Sejuani, but I have an awful lot of health on my board. And that is, of course, synergizing really well. I've got Bruiser traits, that's adding more health. I have Sejuani's Guild trait that also adds more health to the team. And then the Dragon's Claw regenerates percentage of max health per second. If there's one thing that I'm lacking, it's I don't have a lot of damage in my team right now. I don't really have a carry. I just have like a lot of very tanky units with a ton of health, and people just are not able to get through that much health this early in the game. I guess the closest thing I have to a carry is Olaf right now, who's a very interesting unit. Olaf gains additional attack damage permanently every single time he dies. He has not really been dying in these fights, so he has not been stacking up that benefit. But Olaf is definitely a unit that you can play throughout the game, and the longer the game goes on, if you keep him in your team like for the whole game, then he can stack up an awful lot of AD, because he gets 5 AD every single time he dies, and then he keeps that for the whole game. So if you hit him early, I think I hit him on like 2-1 or something, then it can stack up quite well throughout the game. All right, now here's where I get one of my biggest high rolls of the game. I high rolled like crazy throughout this game. I was very lucky. I find an Ornn here at 2% odds. Ornn is the top bruiser in this game. Well, there's a dragon that's also a bruiser as well, but Ornn is the top non-dragon bruiser. He is a 4-cost unit, and as soon as I saw him pop up in the shop, I was like, oh, I can play 4 bruisers here. Okay, that feels really good. I was planning on playing into Guild, and I will go into Guild eventually, but I kind of make a detour here for most of Stage 3 and Stage 4 because I just hit all these Bruisers, and I was like, all right, well, 4 Bruisers, that feels pretty good. Let's give all of my units like a bajillion health, and other people just won't be able to cut through my team with that much health this early in the game. It's certainly something that I have remembered from past sets, and that is one of the advantages of Teamfight Tactics is when you've played a lot of past sets, you can recognize some of these patterns. Is I remember from earlier sets that if you could hit 4 Bruiser early on, it's just like worth a ton of health, and it's very difficult to deal with that much health early in the game. So I'm on the full winning streak. I win streaked all through Stage 2. So I'm going to go ahead and level to level 6 right here in a second. Put in Orin. That'll get me to 4 Bruisers. And that's going to provide everyone on my team with what? How much health is 4 Bruisers? I'll just look up whatever it says right now. And again, this will be subject to change. Bruiser, oh, right now it's 225 health. And again, that gets doubled for Bruiser. So they're all getting 450 health plus Sejuani's health. That's like 500 health for everyone on the team. And Orin is just a really good unit in his own right. So I'll put him in here. Note that I'm up against Bloodlust. Bloodlust has not lost either yet. Bloodlust is running like a Cannoneer comp based on Jinx and Senna back there. But again, I just have so much HP. Like I have so much HP on my units. Senna just does not deal enough damage to kill my team at this point. It's actually reasonably close. Look, a lot of my units get low, but oh, this fight is so sad for Bloodlust. He actually doesn't kill any units on my team. Does not kill one unit, and they're all very low. So yeah, sorry about that. My board got low, but none of them actually died. And again, that's that extra health. So this was me being greedy and leveling to 6 on 3-1. That's an early level timing, but I was on the full win streak, and it actually does make a difference here. All right, so we have our second choice of augments. I am going to take Ascension here because my team is super tanky. My team is super, well, I've got all this health. My team is really tanky. So what do? Let's put Ascension in place. And that means that they'll all deal more damage if we can stall out the fight, which again, with a very tanky comp, you're more likely to stall out the fight. I thought that that was probably my best option out of these. The other augment I have is Cybernetic Implants, which provides additional health. Yes, more health. This is like the health game. Additional health and additional damage for anyone holding an item. So I'm going to try to spread out some of my items later on in order to get more of the cybernetics benefit. Now, I do have to comment on one other thing. I have put a Shojin, a Spear of Shojin on Olaf. This is not a good Olaf item, and I am well aware that this is not a good Olaf item. I had an initial tier, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with that tier. So I decided, you know what? On the second carousel, I was like, let's grab a sword, and I'll make Spear of Shojin, because my expectation at the time was that I was going to play into Guild, and that I wanted to put a Spear of Shojin on Ryze, who is one of the Guild units, and typically Ryze is kind of your mid-game carry if you're playing into Guild trait. Now, what happened since then is I have not seen any other Guild units. I've seen no Twitches and no Ryzes, who are the other Guild units you'd normally be playing. So yeah, the Spear of Shojin has not really gone on the rise the way I was expecting it to. I thought at the time, I was like, I'll just slap this on Olaf for right now, and then I'll transfer to Ryze later. And that has ended up being delayed a lot longer than I thought. So again, Spear of Shojin, not good on Olaf. Olaf wants a mixture of tank items and AD items. I would imagine you want the same kind of items you put on Olaf in past sets, so like Quicksilver Sash, Hurricane, Rapid Fire Cannon, Deathblade are probably all good items on him, I would expect. So he really does not want Spear of Shojin at all, but this was intended to be held for Ryze, and I just have not seen Ryzes. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'd rather get use out of this item, even if it's a suboptimal item for this champion, as opposed to just having it sit on my bench and do nothing the whole time. So yeah, Olaf, you use that Spear of Shojin, buddy. You get extra mana so you can cast more often. In terms of Olaf's traits, he is one of the many units that has 3 traits in this set. It's actually kind of interesting. This set has many units with 3 traits, which in some ways means you can be more versatile. You can play more team compositions by all these different traits, but it also does make the set very newcomer unfriendly because there's a lot to learn. Olaf's 3 traits are Bruiser, so he's providing Bruiser for me, plus Scale Scorn, plus Warrior. And that's why I've tried to put Warrior and Scale Scorn in play so I can try to buff up Olaf, because he's the closest thing I have to a carry at the moment. All right, so we got another carousel here. I'm still on a full win streak. I haven't lost yet, so I'm pretty rich. I've been using my big wallet to push people around in the lobbies. You saw I leveled very aggressively to level 6. And now I'm going to do the same thing and level aggressively to level 7. There isn't a lot that I want that badly here on this carousel, so I decided I'm going to grab the Ryze. And this is largely just so I have the opportunity to play Ryze in my team comp. But the belt is not terrible either because I am running these tanky champs. A belt would certainly not be bad. So I'm just going to continue looking to play units here. Again, I'm rich enough so I can level to 7, so I'm going to do that. So I'll go ahead and toss in the Ryze, and I'll just keep that belt on him for the time being because, remember, I am running cybernetic implants, so that means anyone who holds an item does get extra health and gets a little bit of extra attack damage. Not that Ryze uses attack damage that well, but, it doesn't hurt for him to have... I mean, he's got what? He's got the belt, which provides extra HP. We've got Bruiser 4 in for extra HP. We've got Cybernetics that's extra HP. So yeah, you get the idea. I end up being matched up against Grillo here, and I get a little bit lucky in the sense that Grillo's running this assassin board, but his assassins all jump to the right, and I have Ryze positioned on the left. I'm also kind of a bad matchup for Grillo because assassins want to hit, a really squishy backline. That's the whole idea, is they jump on the backline and they kill the squishy carries. Assassins just innately do not do very well against a team that's made up of very tanky bruisers. Like, this is just not a matchup that you particularly want to see if you're running Assassin. So, as I said, it's just kind of not a good matchup for Grillo's comp. So I'm going to be able to continue running the win streak out. And then I find another guild unit here. So I'm finally starting to find the guild units. I find the Talon, which I'm level 7. This is not exactly, all that unlikely to find Talon, because he's the 4-cost unit that plays into guild. And even though Ryze has the item, I decided that I'd rather play Talon in here because Talon he adds something to the guild team that's going to be more useful, I think. Or do I keep Ryze in here? I thought that I went and played Talon, but I guess I held him on the bench for the time being. So let's just walk through what these bonuses are again. I mentioned Sejuani provides the whole team health. Twitch provides attack speed, which would be quite nice for my team right now. Ryze provides ability power, probably the least useful bonus for my team at the moment. And then Talon provides attack damage. And then the final unit is Bard, and he provides mana generation. I believe it's mana per second gets generated. So kind of like the old Scholars or Invoker traits in past sets. And yeah, so now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to have to try to transition from this Bruiser setup, which has been great for the early game, into kind of my late game setup, which is going to be much more focused on running the actual guild units. It's kind of shocking that I won all 10 rounds. Because the only 2-star unit in my comp is the Sejuani. Now, I did have the great luck of hitting Ornn, but that's the only... Oh, no, I have Shen 2-star as well. That might not look like Shen because he's got a funky red graphics color on him, but that is Shen. So I did have a pair of 2-stars, but it's not like I have, 4 or 5 2-star units here. So anyway... and then the other units I'm playing, so I'm playing Shen because Shen is also a bruiser, and he also provides, what's his other trait? I believe he has 3 traits in this set. I have to keep looking these up. Shen is, he's providing warrior trait. He also has Rage Wing, but I'm not using that. And then I have Silas in because Silas is another bruiser as well, and he's providing mage. And then I also have Lilia in because she's a cav and a mage. Here, I decide, you know what? I'm on full win streak. I've won 10 rounds in a row. I'm going to be super aggressive. I'm going to cut my economy all the way down to 12 gold because I have the items for an Infinity Edge, and I'm just going to toss in Talon because he makes really good use of that Infinity Edge. And that's actually going to end up being super important in this round because I'm up against Antisocial, who is playing an Astral. He's re-rolling for Astral stuff. Astral's kind of a re-roll setup. Plays into mages, plays into reroll. And this is actually going to be a really close fight because Antisocial's got a pretty strong board here. He has the makeshift armor, which is causing me trouble to get through this front line. But in the end, my tanks are going to hang in there. It's like, oh, I lost most of my damage dealers. Talon is super low, but he's going to ult, disappear into that Blade Surge. And we are going to win this fight. I don't know if we win that without me going to level 8 and putting in Talon. So I think that worked there. I am only able to do that because of how rich I am. And oh, the high roll, the super duper high roll. I get the guild augment for my last augment. Oh, wow, is that a high roll. All right, so let's talk about why this is so good. There's only 5 guild units in the game. So there's only 5, remember? We have Sejuani, 1 cost. Twitch, 2 cost, who I haven't even played yet. Ryze, 3 cost. Talon, 4 cost. And then Bard, 5 cost. So there's only 5 guild units in the game. If you want to play guild 6, you have to find a guild emblem. This is not something you can make with a spatula. There's no spatula recipe that makes it. You have to find it on like a carousel or pull it out of a tome of traits, or you have to get it from an augment. And I have gotten it. And the reason why that's so good is the guild bonus jumps enormously at guild 6. At guild 5, it's it's like 2, I just highlighted, I think it's 225% at guild 5, and then it goes to 275 at guild 6. That is a huge increase. So it's almost triple benefit. It's 275% bonus at guild 6. And I'm going to be able to get that on all my guild units, and I can put the guild emblem on a unit of my choice who will also get those bonuses. Because remember, guild units get double the benefit. And the guild emblem bonus is Omnivamp, 3% Omnivamp. So all my guild units now have innate lifesteal as well. Well, it's actually better than that. It's Omnivamp, so heal on both spell damage and physical damage. So this was a crazy high roll. It was exactly what I wanted. And I actually did not even have to end up re-rolling any of my augments. This is one of the changes in set 7. You can re-roll your augments one time, but I didn't have to do that. I actually have the Talon on the bench right now because I don't have a way to get him in this comp. I'll play him eventually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down to just 2 Bruisers in time. I'm going to drop the Olaf and I'm going to drop the Shen because they're not needed for my comp. And then I'm going to play. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to play Bard, who's the last guild unit that I haven't found yet. I want to play Bard, and then I also want to play Pike, who is the 5-cost assassin, and then I'll pair them. So it'll be take out Olaf, take out Shen, put in the Talon, put in the Pike, and put in the Bard, and then that's my final board. With all these other synergies. Also, I want to transfer that Dragon's Claw off Sejuani because she's a 1-cost unit and put it on Ornn, who's my best tank. So that's the plan later on as well. And I'm just kind of waiting for when I find those units for that to happen. So I'm going to try to fast 9. I don't want to roll more than this on level 8 because I'm still winning rounds. But I want to get to 9, and then I want to find those units. So I'm hoping that maybe I can find like a Bard on this carousel, or Pike would also be super nice. But I want to get to level 9 so I can play all 6 guild units, or all 5 guild units plus the guild emblem. And then I'm also going to be able to transfer that guild emblem off of Olaf and onto another unit. And then I can also take the Spear of Shojin off Olaf and put it on Ryze, who is the unit I actually want to have. Ryze is a super interesting unit. He is basically another unit that scales over the course of a fight. He starts at 20 mana cost, and every time he casts, his mana cost goes up, and he deals more damage based on how much mana he has. I'll just read his description. Ryze hurls 1 arcane orb at his target, deals magic damage based on max mana. Each cast increases his max mana by 20 and the number of orbs thrown by 1. So you always want to play him with mage trait, and then you always want to you want to try to put mana generation stuff on him if at all possible. So here I go ahead and I find the Talon 2-star. So I'm going to play Talon 2-star over the Twitch 2-star. Talon gives my whole team attack damage. Twitch gives my whole team attack speed, but a 2-star Talon is innately better than a 2-star Twitch. And again, I'm just putting an item on as many champs as I can because I want to get that cybernetics benefit. And I'm trying to put items that make logical sense on these units. So I've got the Dragon's Claw, which is still a really, really good item. Definitely overpowered. I've got that on my tanky frontliner. Olaf is holding items for Pike and also holding items for Ryze. Now I just need to find Pike. And I guess nobody's holding items for Bard. I put this random rod on Lilia because she's a frontliner and I want her to have more health. And Lilia's a mage, so she can maybe make use of that AP. But yeah, I just kind of have like a random rod on her. And we're still winning rounds. Haven't lost a round at all, literally the entire game. So now I'm like, can I just win everything? Can I go like a full match without losing a single round? If I'm going to lose a round, it's probably going to be in the next couple rounds because I have not rolled down at level 8. I'm trying to be greedy here. I'm playing to win the lobby, which is by pushing for fast 9 rather than rolling at 8 to stabilize. So if I'm going to lose a round, it's probably going to be in the next 2 or 3 rounds because other people are rolling down and stabilizing their comps on like level 8 or level 7, whereas I am greeding to push to level 9 and just hoping that the strength of my board can carry me through here. I do think that guild trait is a little bit overpowered based on what I was seeing here. Like, I don't think I should have maybe been this strong based on what I had. Here's a chance actually to eliminate another player. So this person's playing a mage setup, And the good news is I've got that Talon is jumping in the back lines, getting on some of the carries. Want to get over to that Ryze. This person has not itemized Ryze correctly, though. Ryze does not want a blue buff. It might look like it because his starting mana cost is 20, but very quickly he goes from 20 mana up to 40 mana up to 60 mana, and so blue is actually not especially good on him. Spear of Shojin is a much better mana generation item. So yeah, blue is just not really the item he wants. All right, now we've got an opportunity to use the Treasure Dragon. This is one of the new features in the set. You no longer fight the wolves. You now have the option to take what you see here, or you can refresh. And I'm thinking about, do I want to take this? I actually think some of the options are pretty good. And I was like, all right, I will take this. And then I get a big hit. I find Pike. At level 8, again, it's not crazy to find Pike. You do get 8% odds to find the legendaries, but this is still a big hit for me because now I'm going to go ahead and transfer. I'm going to put the Spark on Pike. Spark is a good item. I'm going to put the Guild Emblem on him as well. So now he is a guild unit, which means he gets double the benefit. So he's going to get double all that stuff from the guild units. And now since I took out Olaf, I'm also going to take out Shen because I no longer need Warrior trait. I no longer need Scale Scorn trait. Now the Shojin can go on Ryze. And now I was like, what else do I put in? All right, well, let's just make a death cap on Pike. So I should talk at least briefly about Pike then, I guess. So, and I'll just make the Giant Slayer on Talon. That'll be good against any dragons that people might be running, and it might be good against other high health targets. And then I'm going to hit the Olaf. I was like, all right, well, now I can definitely go level 9. Let's go level 9 and look to find Bard. So what does Pike do? Oh, and here, because I 2-starred the Ornn, I'm going to shift the Dragon's Claw over to Ornn because, you know, he's a 4-cost unit, not a 1-cost unit like Sejuani is. All right, so Pike, he is a 5-cost assassin. He feels a little overtuned. Feels like the numbers are a little too high on him right now. Traits are Whispers plus Assassin, so he always pairs really well with Talon. If you're playing Talon, you're going to play Pike and vice versa. His ability is Allure. Pike dives towards the lowest health enemy and slashes in an X, dealing magic damage to his target and to other enemies struck. So magic damage assassin, you want death cap, stuff like that. Enemies hit suffer 50% reduced healing. If Pike hits an enemy below percentage health, he executes them and immediately recasts. So it's his ultimate from normal League of Legends. He puts the big X on the board. If he kills the target, he then recasts as well. So it is a reset-based ability. That's one reason why he feels a little overtuned, because if he gets going in these fights, he can just start resetting, and it gets a little bit crazy. So he is really good with stuff like Death Cap. The Ionic Spark is really good too, because it's got the Magic Resist Shred for people nearby. And of course, I've got the Guild Emblem on him so that he will get double benefit from all the various guild stuff. So now I just need to find Bard. It's the only unit I'm still missing in my team comp. So I'm going to try to go to 9. The plan is to go 9 after the carousel, and then I'll look for Bard. And once I put Bard in, I've got my last unit, and I've got my board completely filled out. I'm also going to pick up this Ornn because I actually have decent odds to 3-star a 4-cost unit. So I was like, you know what? Let's just start picking up Ornns. Maybe we can 3-star Ornn. The odds are not crazy to do that. So like Pike is getting off resets. He actually gets interrupted here. And this is a close fight. This is the closest fight I've had in a while. I need Ryze to continue carrying this fight. He's going to pop the Jade Dragon, and oh, look how close that is. That person got me down to 1 unit left. But Ryze does scale throughout the fight. So if it's down to just Ryze, you still have a lot of work to do in the fight if Ryze is the only one left. Or do I level to 9 here? I can't remember if I level here or if I wait for one more round. We are getting down to just the last couple of us in the lobby. Bloodest is on a big win streak, and Grillo is also doing well. Bloodest is running the Cannoneer comp, still has the Senna in there, has 3-starred the Senna. Grillo is running an Assassin plus Whispers based team composition. So no, I don't greed it out. I decide that I'm going to be patient, and if I can win this round, then I'm pretty confident I'll be able to go 9 with 50 gold to roll, and hopefully find Bard, and then I'll have my completed board. I will say, being bunched up this much makes team comp pretty susceptible to Bard. Or it's not Bard. Well, it does make them susceptible to Bard. We'll see Bard in a minute. But also to Pike. And Pike was able to get... Pike does 6,000 damage as a 1-cost in that fight. Because he got 1 initial kill, and then he reset, and then he reset again, and then reset again. So yeah, if you're kind of like out ahead of the rest of the lobby, Pike can really be problematic because of his resets. That's why he feels really strong. I expect his numbers are going to be toned down a bit before this gets released on the live client. So we have another carousel here. There's nothing I really want that badly here, so I was like, I will take one more item. I'm kind of playing through the Pike and the Talon right now, so let's finish itemizing Talon. He already has the Omnivamp from the guild trait, but let's just get a Bloodthirster and slap that on him as well. That feels like a good last item for Talon. All right, so now I'm going to level, and I'm going to roll, and oh, look what pops up instantly. It's a Bard, and we'll just pick up the Orns. And now I can try to go for other 3 stars, but since I was hitting Orns early, I thought I'd go for that. So let's talk, and here I'm filling out more of my comp. I've already got 6 Orns, so I was like, all right, well, that feels pretty good. So what then does Bard do? Bard is another very creative unit. He's going to be a bit of a balanced nightmare in this set, but he's definitely another creative unit. So his ability is he throws a big AoE stun on the map. You know, it's his ultimate from normal League of Legends. So you'll see that happens. He's going to toss out the big glowing stun, and unlike in normal League of Legends, you can damage the targets when they're hit by Bard ults. They're, you know, not in stasis, not in Zanya's ring or Zanya's hourglass mode. Zanya's ring, that's from early days League of Legends. So he provides great CC. He's really good against clump teams, but he has a special property as well that's very unique. So I'm just going to go ahead and read his particular ability. What is his trait? I think his trait is also called Bard. He has a unique trait. Yeah, his trait is also called Bard, and that's the most unique thing about him. I'm trying to find where that's listed here. All right, Bard. Every time Bard tosses his ultimate, he creates a doot. It's a little magic note. They've chosen to call it a doot. Each doot you collect increases your shop odds by 1% for 3, 4, and 5 cost units. It decreases them for 1 and 2 cost units. So when Bard tosses out his ult, you'll see he's going to create a music note. There it goes. There's the note. And when that note is picked up by me, the odds are going to go down for the 1 and 2 cost units. They're going to go up for the 3, 4, and 5 cost units. So if you get Bard early on, you can keep increasing your shop odds. It is actually possible to get to a point where you hit 0% 1 cost, 0% 2 cost, then the 3 cost odds start going down. If you get rid of all the 3 cost odds, then the 4 cost odds start going down. So it is theoretically possible to get to a point where you have 100% odds to find legendary units, to find 5 cost. It's a very creative mechanic. As I said, it's kind of a balanced nightmare. They've already nerfed Bard multiple times, even this early in testing, because he used to have 10% odds to create a music note for each surviving unit on your team. And people were getting like 3, 4, 5 music notes. Also, people like putting a mage emblem on Bard, so he casts twice, and that also stacks up Bard's ability very quickly. So this guy is a bit of a balance problem, to say the least, but it's a very interesting and creative unit. And I actually go by the Pike there because I already have Pike 2-star. So now I'm just looking to see if I can 2-star the Bard, or maybe 3-star the Ornn. It's down to just me and Grillo and Bloodthirster, and it looks like Grillo is in a stronger position, although Bloodthirster did just hit 3-star Olaf. That's pretty good. So I'm going to try to position here. Grillo has some, Grillo has some Zephyrs, and I'm trying to dodge those Zephyrs in these fights. But at this point, my board is so strong, it's going to be pretty difficult for me to lose one of these rounds. I've hit the 2-star Pike, and the Pike is really strong. I mean, he is a legendary unit. He's a 5 cost. Plus, I've scaled him up with a death cap and 6 guild benefits, which he's getting double benefits on since he is now a guild unit as well. So yeah, that's feeling pretty strong. And then it looks like Grillo's Ghost knocks out Bloodthirster here. So at this point, I'm really just rolling to see if I can 3-star the Ornn, because that would be fun if I could manage to 3-star it. Remember, the odds of the 4-cost units are going up with each cast of Bard ult. So that's why I think I have better odds to maybe find this. So I'm rolling, and there it is. Yep. 3-star 4-cost unit. It is easier to hit them in this set with the presence of Bard, but still not something you're going to see that often. I looked up the numbers for Ornn, and his Ornn horn, or whatever it is, it stuns for 8 seconds when he's 3-starred. So yeah, that's pretty strong. Stuns for 8 seconds right now if he can get his ultimate off. With that said, though, for as strong as my team comp is, this fight's pretty close. If you're looking at here, there is because Grillo is also running Pike. He has a 1-star Pike. And yeah, I mean, it does get down to just Talon and Ornn on my side. So pretty close. His 1-star Pike did 9,900 damage. So not bad at all over there. But at this point, I've just scaled so high like my comp is just scaled to the point where it's really difficult to deal with the number of bonuses I have stacked up here. So it looks like I'm not going to hit Bard 2-star, but I've hit 2-star of everything else, and I'm missing the and I had the 3-star Ornn. Grillo is running 6 Assassins, 6 Whisperers. Whisperers are a really cool trait. I need to experiment more with this one. Whisperers trait reduces the armor and magic resistance when Whisper units damage enemies. They reduce armor and MR by 40%, and they gain a stacking bonus when they hit enemies that they have already shrunken with reduced armor and MR. So that last fight was pretty close. Grillo said that his dragon, he's running the Whisper's dragon, got off a nice ultimate. This fight, not as close, and that's going to do it. That's the 100 HP victory. So wire to wire on this one. Managed to win every single round. And to be fair, I got pretty lucky in this game. I definitely had the good luck to hit what I needed. Hitting the guild emblem for my last augment was a humongous high roll. I found the Ornn at 2% odds. I didn't have much difficulty finding the Pike, which was the unit I was playing through in the end game. But I do think that I built this team pretty well. So, you know, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I think that this one was a pretty well played game. All right, well, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this early look at set 7. Until next time, have a good one and take care.